On January 6, 2021, a pivotal event shook the United States, the Capitol riot. A large crowd of Donald Trump supporters gathered in Washington, D.C., and after a rally, marched to the U.S. Capitol. The Capitol, where Congress was certifying the 2020 presidential election, was breached by the crowd. The riot disrupted the peaceful transfer of power, a tradition over 2 centuries old. Images of chaos and violence inside Congress shocked the world and raised urgent questions about American democracy. Investigations followed, seeking to understand who was responsible and how the attack unfolded. Central to these investigations was the role of then-President Donald Trump. Did his words and actions incite the violence? Years later, on January 1, 2026, new testimony reignited the national conversation. This testimony came from Jack Smith, who led a major investigation into the riot. Smith's account provided a direct perspective on who he believed was ultimately responsible. His words have become a critical part of the historical record, shaping how the nation understands that day. The Capitol riot remains a defining moment, forcing Americans to confront the fragility of their democracy. The questions it raised about political division and the strength of institutions are still debated. Jack Smith's testimony offers clarity on the events and accountability for what happened. It ensures the story of January 6 will not be forgotten. To grasp the weight of the new testimony, it's important to know who Jack Smith is. Smith is a seasoned prosecutor, known for his independence and commitment to the law. He's handled cases ranging from local crimes to international war crimes, earning a reputation for fairness and rigor. In November 2022, Smith was appointed special counsel to investigate efforts to overturn the 2020 election and the handling of classified documents at Trump's Florida home. As special counsel, Smith led a team that gathered evidence, interviewed hundreds, and followed the facts wherever they led. His work was methodical and largely out of the public eye, focused on building cases based on evidence, not politics. After Trump won the 2024 election, Smith left his role in January 2025, but his investigation's findings remained significant. In late 2025, Smith was called to testify before Congress, offering a rare, direct account of his investigation. Though no longer special counsel, his testimony carried immense weight. He had seen all the evidence. On January 1, 2026, his testimony was released, giving the public a clear look at his conclusions. Smith's career and reputation made his words especially impactful. His testimony is now a key document for understanding the events surrounding January 6. It stands as an official record, beyond the reach of political spin. Smith's role as investigator and witness gives his account unique authority. His words continue to shape the national conversation about accountability and justice. In his testimony, Jack Smith made one statement that stood out: "It does not happen without him." The him was Donald Trump. Smith asserted that the Capitol riot was not a spontaneous protest, but a direct result of Trump's actions and words. He didn't suggest Trump was just one factor. He identified him as the essential cause. Smith's conclusion was based on months of investigation, evidence, and witness testimony. He described a clear cause and effect. Without Trump, the march and violence would not have occurred. This was not a personal opinion, but the result of a thorough, fact-driven inquiry. Smith's words summarize the findings of a massive federal investigation in a single, powerful sentence. He told Congress and the nation that the attack on the Capitol traced directly to the person at the top. This forced the country to confront Trump's central role in the events of January 6. Smith didn't just say the riot wouldn't have happened without Trump. He called Trump, by a large measure, the most culpable and most responsible person. Culpable means deserving blame, and Smith argued Trump was the primary architect of the conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election. The plan, Smith said, was designed for Trump's benefit, with others acting to keep him in power. Trump wasn't a passive participant. He directed and drove the scheme. Smith detailed how Trump made key decisions and encouraged illegal actions. As president, Trump had a duty to protect the Constitution and ensure a peaceful transfer of power. Instead, Smith argued, Trump abused his position to spread falsehoods and incite his supporters. This made his actions more serious than anyone else's. Smith's testimony highlighted that Trump's leadership role made him uniquely responsible. The case against Trump was not just about breaking laws, but about betraying the highest office's responsibilities. Smith's words underscored the gravity of Trump's actions and their impact on American democracy. He made clear that ultimate responsibility rested with the president himself. One striking aspect of Smith's testimony was the source of the evidence: Trump's own allies. Many of Trump's staff, Republican officials, and longtime supporters testified about what they saw and heard. Their accounts were credible. They weren't political enemies, but insiders telling the truth. Advisors told Trump he lost the election, and there was no evidence of widespread fraud, yet he continued to claim otherwise. This showed Trump knowingly spread falsehoods to the public. Republican officials described being pressured to overturn state results or participate in illegal schemes. Some, like a Pennsylvania elector, recognized the plan as an illegal attempt to subvert the government. These witnesses put country over party, facing backlash for their honesty. Smith emphasized that the case was built on testimony from Trump's own circle, not partisan opponents. Their willingness to speak out gave the investigation its strength and credibility. Their words painted a detailed first-hand picture of the events leading to January 6th. Smith's testimony laid out a timeline of Trump's actions before and during the riot. After the 2020 election, Trump repeatedly claimed, without evidence, that the election was stolen. Advisors told him these claims were false, but he persisted, fueling anger among his supporters. As January 6 approached, Trump used social media and speeches to urge supporters to come to D.C., promising a wild protest. On January 6, he held a rally, repeated false claims, and told the crowd to march to the Capitol. Smith emphasized that Trump specifically directed the crowd toward Congress as it counted electoral votes. During the riot, Trump watched events unfold on TV, refusing for hours to call off the violence despite pleas from staff and family. His inaction allowed chaos to continue and endangered lawmakers and police. When he finally spoke, Trump's message was mixed, telling rioters to go home, but also calling them very special. He even tweeted criticism of Vice President Pence as the violence raged. Smith argued Trump's actions during the riot were not those of a leader seeking order, but of someone exploiting the chaos. The timeline showed Trump's active role before and during the attack. Some committee members accused Smith of political motives, claiming he aimed to hurt Trump's 2024 campaign. Smith firmly rejected this, stating he never took orders from political leaders and always followed the law and evidence. He pointed out that the strongest evidence came from Republicans and Trump's own staff, not political opponents. Smith defended his team's investigative methods as standard and necessary for uncovering the truth. He asserted that the evidence proved, beyond a reasonable doubt, that Trump engaged in a criminal scheme. Smith insisted his case was strong, built on facts, not speculation or politics. His defense underscored the integrity of the investigation, despite intense political pressure. Smith's words made clear, this was about justice, not partisanship. Despite Smith's strong case, legal proceedings against Trump stopped after he won the 2024 election. U.S. policy prevents indicting or prosecuting a sitting president to avoid distracting from official duties. With Trump set to return to office, the Department of Justice had to halt both major federal cases, the election conspiracy and the classified documents case. This frustrated many who wanted a trial and a final legal answer. Smith acknowledged that the cases were dropped due to this policy, not because of weak evidence. The intersection of law and politics meant the evidence would never be tested in court. Smith's testimony to Congress became the only official venue to present his findings. The end of the cases highlighted the challenges of holding powerful figures accountable. Smith's words now serve as the public record of what his investigation uncovered. The legal process paused, but the historical record remains. Smith's testimony ensures the evidence is not lost to history. As Trump prepares for a second term and the legal cases are closed, some wonder why Smith's testimony matters. The answer, it's about history, not just law. Smith's account is a detailed, evidence-based record of a critical moment in American democracy. His testimony cuts through years of political debate, offering a clear conclusion. Trump was the central figure behind the riot. While opinions may differ, Smith's fact-based account anchors the ongoing discussion. His words remind us of the rule of law and the courage of those who told the truth. Smith's work documented a serious effort to hold a president accountable, even if no trial occurred. His testimony prevents the events of January 6 from being rewritten or forgotten. It stands as a formal record for historians, legal scholars, and citizens. Smith's final words to Congress are now a crucial part of the story of the attack on the U.S. Capitol.